Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Well, That's Creepy. I'm Travis.
I'm Cassie. We're here for another fun-filled episode.
Should be cool.
This week we're talking about monsters, real and mythological. So,
There's a lot out there.
yeah, but who's really to say what's real and what's not? Because, I don't know, there's like a fine line.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I don't
Some
know.
of them are way out there. Some of them are pretty legit, I guess. I don't know.
Some I still believe.
What's your
though.
favorite? If you had to pick one.
I like to say the names of some, but I don't know anything about. Like I like saying the word chupacabra, but I don't know what that
Yeah, I like the
is.
chupacabra. It's pretty cool because I always thought werewolves were cool.
It's a werewolf.
It's part dog. I don't know.
Oh,
It
shit.
looks werewolfy. I really don't know.
I just like saying the name. I just like saying chupacabra. It's like really fun to say.
Pretty cool.
Chupacabra.
Yeah, we got Loch Ness monster.
I believe that's real though. I
Yeah,
really do. I don't know
Bigfoot.
if it's like a legit animal in the water, but like maybe like a spirit
Yeah.
in the water or something.
Well, everybody back in the day, this is what I heard, like way back in the day, thought megalodons were like a mythical creature, but then turns out they started finding like their teeth and bones and skeletal remains, and
Kinda like
turns out they're
dinosaurs,
real.
I
I
mean.
mean, yeah.
I mean, it really is though. If you think about it, it's kind of like
Yeah.
dinosaurs. I mean, because then like a megalodon, like a dinosaur.
Yeah, I mean, they say sharks are prehistoric, so
So I mean, it just kind of
yeah.
goes like hand in
Megalodons are
hand,
huge,
you know.
though, compared to.
No,
But
no.
it's kind of like, what is that, Kraken?
Yeah, the Kraken's like the giant squid
Like a giant
or whatever.
squid, yeah.
And I didn't know that was real either. I thought it was like
And they've been finding giant squids. I don't know if they're like the Kraken size giant
Wait,
squids
You
taking
know,
down
we watched
ships.
something
but-
on Discovery Channel about the giant squid.
Yeah,
they
we
were
did. It was pretty
flying
cool.
before. I remember that. Like you were like all
Yeah.
hyped up to watch this giant, like
It was years ago,
giant
but
squid
it was really
thing or
cool.
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that's kind of cool. Like I mean, because you don't really know, but it's really cool because one day, like, what if our grandkids are sitting there watching TV and they
Yeah.
find it and they come across this and be like, hey, my grandparents talked about that shit. I don't know. It's kind of cool, but.
No, it's like some of these could be like maybe real, like the chupacabra. It's like a four-legged dog-looking thing, but like half dog, half werewolf. I really don't know. And then the megalodon, the Kraken. Those are all plausible.
I mean, they really, and like
You know?
vampires are technically, I mean, because it's kind of like
Yeah.
witches, if you think about it, like, okay, because as a witch, like you guys, we said in the beginning, I practice witchcraft, but I don't think that I can fly, and I don't think I could turn people into toads or any shit like that, so vampires could technically be real too. I mean, they don't turn into bats. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there who think they're a vampire and they don't turn into bats
maybe
and
they
stuff,
don't grow
but
fangs and bite people or stuff. I don't know.
I like the biting part.
Yeah, you like the biting.
I do like to bite. I mean,
Um.
it's just my thing. But
Now, things like the Jersey Devil, that's a little far-fetched, I guess. It's supposed to have been like something where some lady gave birth. She had like 12 kids, and then she supposedly gave birth to, she said the 13th one was going to be like the devil or something.
wow.
And she gave birth, and supposedly it was all jacked up.
That's that book that you
And-
liked from when you were younger,
Yeah.
right?
When I was younger, yes, I was in like, I don't know, 3rd, 4th grade, and I saw this book in the library called The Jersey Devil, and it was an old book. It was like in the 80s. And I was just so obsessed with that book. It was insane. Like, even the cover, I was drawn to the cover.
Oh, I
of
remember
it,
because I
you
saved
know?
the picture on my phone. We
Yeah.
found it that one day or
We'll have to
whatever.
put it up on the page.
Yeah, I'll put a picture
Yeah,
of the
we'll put a
Jersey
picture.
Devil up. It's just really
Well,
cool,
we'll put
though.
a picture of that book up. 'Cause
Yeah.
The picture is cool on it, too. But, no, anyway, she had the 13th child, and supposedly it turned into, like, all devilish, and eventually grew wings, and it looked like it was part goat / part horse, hoofy with bat wings, and I don't know.
Yeah, the picture's kind of like if I was a little kid looking at it, I think I'd be pretty creeped out. But even as an adult, I'm a little like, oh, okay.
But watch out,
you
Jersey
know.
people, because it could be out there.
You never know. It literally could be like dragons, though. But
Yeah.
because, like, again, we're talking about prehistoric, like dinosaurs and shit. So, I mean, maybe dragons were real back then. I don't know about them flying, but
or breathing fire and stuff, but it
Well,
could have
okay,
been
but
some
you
sort of
gotta think-
dinosaur-looking dragon.
But think about it. Every myth and mythological creature literally came from something. Like that story
Yeah.
started from something. So
Oh yeah,
it could be literally just something as simple
Yeah.
as like the dragon
Yep.
had something in its mouth and spit it out in front of fire, and then it made it like whoosh,
Who knows?
You know what I mean? Like,
But yeah, like people like way back in the 1700s could have been sitting around a campfire telling a scary story. And then people tried to, it went through like translation 40 different times.
well,
and-
right, and that's the whole thing. But
Yeah.
like, it's like every bit of it comes from something. Like something started it. Like there's every myth has some tiny little part of truth in it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like Godzilla. Okay, obviously we know there's not like this 100,000 foot freaking ass. Well, was he like a lizard thing or something? But it was like a lizard. I mean, that's what you like a reptile is what you classify, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. It looked like a big giant T-Rex. I was thinking of King Kong. That's
right, but like, you know, Godzilla wasn't literally like this thing, but Godzilla was like the form that they were talking about of the bombs that we or whoever dropped there.
On Hiroshima and everything, but it was out before that, I thought.
Maybe it was the fear of it, but I literally I've literally have heard a lot of shit about that, like that Godzilla represents like the bombs and stuff and everything.
Interesting.
So it's something definitely to look more into. I mean,
and we've hit on this before. What do you think about Bigfoot?
I think that there is something out there.
I mean, it could be like some sort of bear gorilla type mutation of some sort that started breeding and coming up with little baby Bigfoots.
But what if it's like a spirit that is a shapeshifter type situation? I mean, because we have some other shapeshifters.
Yeah, what was the other one?
So there's actually a couple I found. Excuse me, because I know I'm going to mispronounce this. Doraguma. It is basically, it's from China. It comes from. It's like a giant spider, but it's like a shapeshifter. So what it's said is that it's like it's the form of a giant spider, but it takes the form of a woman and then gets its prey as a woman, and then once it gets it to its area, it takes on its real shape as a spider, like a giant spider, and tears people apart.
Maybe that had to come from somewhere.
And a ghoul is also another shapeshifter. That's from Arabia. And they think that that's just an evil spirit. And then it's like a shapeshifter, and but the thing with it hides out in like graveyards and like abandoned places and stuff. But it shapeshifts into a hyena.
A hyena?
A hyena. Like I know it's just a funny word. And then okay, backstory real quick. If you guys have ever seen Pretty in Pink, when the foreign little boy says about Grandpa's hyena mole flare up, he's talking about it being a hernia. So every time Travis had to have hernia surgery, so we call it a hyena. So that's why it's just funny, because I instantly think of it turned into hyena.
That's funny.
Oh shit!
I forgot all about that. What about the Mothman? Isn't that another one?
Okay, yes. So the Mothman.
No, that's been reported everywhere, right?
Right, but
like all different types of people are supposed to be seeing that.
Right. So my friend, my best friend moved here. Well, he's like my best friend, but she's like my best friend. Anyway, so she's not originally from this area, and she's been here for like 17, 18 years. But when they moved into their house, their daughter was young, and she kept saying that she saw this thing and basically described the Mothman to her mom and dad, and then
not knowing about what the Mothman
right, because she was very young. And then my friend saw it like at night in her house and was freaked the fuck out. And we didn't know each other very well at the time, but she was telling some other people from this town about it, and they told her that that house had been known to have seen the Mothman many, many, many times.
Before she knew about that.
Yeah, before she even knew about it. So it's kind of creepy.
Yeah, and another thing is we've talked about her house before, and it was, or maybe it's the houses next to her. That was part of the Underground Railroad.
Right, the houses next to her were, but you never know what could have still. Like,
it's hard telling. I mean? Yeah,
they still could have been around a part of that. I mean, obviously, but there's so many weird things that we have our lives in common anyway. That that's a whole nother show episode for us all. But it's just we definitely do. It's really crazy.
But like I said, some of these things you never know could be real.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
because they're animal-like. You know, I'm sure there's deformed animals out there that nobody's seen that maybe started breeding and created more deformed animals.
Well, yeah, like hybrid things. I mean, you got to think about it. Animals in the wild
that's a good word. Yeah, hybrid things
are going to end up, because sex is natural, so they're going to end up banging other animals that aren't the same species. You know, I mean, they are. It can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, they get horny enough, they're going to do something.
Fox banging a frog and just all types of weird
that
stuff
doesn't work, obviously. But seriously, though, I mean, think about it. We're finding new species of things all the time.
Yeah, they do.
So
especially insects.
Right, like the murder fucking hornets. Like,
yeah, where'd those come from?
They're coming back in September. They saw we had enough shit going on here, so they went away, but they're coming back.
Interesting.
Actually, in all reality, though, with the murder hornets, they did capture one of them, and they literally only have until September to find its nest because that's mating season.
Mm-hmm.
And once those fuckers mate, it's over. I mean, they're here in the U.S., so...
I mean, it's kind of like the locust in maybe Australia or Africa, the locust that just tears up the crops over there. I mean, there are so many of them. It's crazy.
It is pretty crazy.
It's pretty fucked up.
It was like the spiders in Australia, too.
Yeah.
Like, have you guys ever seen the pictures in Australia of, like, spider season? Oh, my God. Like, everything is covered in webs that literally looks like you woke up in Silent Hill. Like, this, like, foggy, but it's damn spider web.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
Fuck that.
I forgot my iced coffee.
Well, that's so sad.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, hold it for later. Okay, so this one I found, and I know it sounds really weird. It's called black anise, and may be pronounced a different way, but I'm not going to say it because I'm going to start laughing if I say that word. Anyway, it's basically the England's version of the boogeyman.
Okay.
But it's different in the fact that to them it's a blue-faced witch who lives in caves and claws people's faces. Like, little kids are petrified of it and everything, but it literally started from something else, but that's what it's been transformed into. So it's a little kind of creepy, you know.
What about the Sandman? What is that?
The Sandman's the guy.
No, I remember hearing about how that came about, but I don't remember what the hell it was.
Are you talking about the sandworm?
No, the Sandman.
Like, that puts little kids to sleep.
Yeah, the parents you say you don't go to bed, the Sandman's gonna get you.
No.
Am I thinking of something different? Okay, I don't know.
So, okay, our kids were petrified when they were little. Our oldest, literally to this day, still freaks out when you bring up the Sandman because you scared him thinking that the Sandman was going to get him.
I didn't explain it right, apparently.
No, you did not.
I didn't know what it was.
Now I know why.
Oh, man, that's good stuff.
Oh, fuck. You need to call Mason.
Yeah, I'll apologize later.
Wow, you fucked up our kid. That's great.
That's funny.
Wow.
Now, like zombies, you know, there could be a disease that make humans all fucked up.
I honestly believe it's going to happen soon. But the CDC actually has a plan in place for when that happens. It's no joke. They do have a plan.
Yep.
But do you guys remember a few years ago when bath salts were like this big rage and everybody was like tweaking out on them? And that flock of shit or whatever? That dude down in Miami literally ate that other guy's face, got shot like 6 times, and kept going.
They had to shoot him in the head to stop him, like those zombies.
Like, it was crazy.
You know? And that wasn't the first case. There was many cases like that.
So,
anything could happen to make humans go ape shit and start doing the zombie type shit.
Right. So, like, I really think it's going to happen. Like, I really do believe that the zombie attack is going to
like the mad cow disease, man. The cows were just going crazy. That could happen to humans, you know?
I really think it's going to happen.
Mad human disease.
There's already enough bad humans.
But anything's possible. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that could potentially.
I really do, though.
Like,
honestly think that zombies are going to happen one day. Like, maybe not in our lifetime.
In a way, it would be fun. In a way, it would suck.
You guys understand, like, we have, like, plans for when this happens.
It's pretty sad, but we do.
We do. We have bug out bags and, you know, the whole 9 yards.
Firearms, everything.
Yeah, like, you know.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
The kids already know, like, when shit goes down, where we meet, and, like, the whole shebang. And it's been like this for years, but I don't know.
And it could work for other things as well. Zombie apocalypse, anything. Any kind of.
It really could. Any kind of, like, fucked up shit, you know? Like, you know, the movie, or the show Preppers, like, some people prep for dumb shit, but, you know, like, we prep for real things. Like,
yeah.
What about Demogorgons?
I remember that from The Office.
Nope.
Is that what that was?
No, it's from Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The Demogorgons, which I thought was made up just for the TV show, but apparently it is not. Apparently Demogorgons are a thing. So it's from Greece, and it basically comes out at Halloween when the veil's at its thinnest, and rips apart anything it can see moving, like an animal, human, whatever.
Is it like a spirit?
Well, that's what I'm going to say. I think that it may be a spirit form because, you know, Halloween, or as we call it, Samhain, the veil is the thinnest between both worlds, so it's able to cross over.
Okay.
So, but and it's not just, it's kind of like if you think of it, you know, a storm. You have the center of the storm is going to be obviously the worst part. Well, but leading up to it, the eye of the storm, sorry. The eye.
That's the calmest part. But no, I know what you mean. The walls would be turning up like a Demogorgon.
Oh my God. I can't with you.
Oh,
so anyway, let's revert. The veil is the thinnest like the days before and leading up to Halloween and the days after. So, you know, like that whole week or, you know, month really, it was like good time for Demogorgons come through and eat your face and shit. But
That's jacked up.
it really is, because I thought it was just something that Stranger Things made up.
And this is around Halloween?
Yes.
Speaking of Halloween, we need to... when things get put on the shelves more, then we'll start.
We were a little disappointed when we looked at what was out because there wasn't a lot out. So we're gonna wait and do a review.
There's a lot of online stuff. I guess we could post a few pictures, talk about it.
Yeah,
there's all types of cool stuff.
There's more fall stuff that was out right now than there was Halloween stuff. So once there's more Halloween stuff out, then we'll do a full review of, you know, hey, this is what's what. Kind
of like this little guy. Shit, man, I'm about to put my hand in his mouth. Like this little guy behind us here. It's actually a Halloween prop. I don't know if anyone's ever wondered what the hell it was, but yeah, it's a dog, wolf, werewolf.
A werewolf.
It's animatronic though. It whenever the batteries are in, it actually howls and lights. The eyes light up and it howls and moves his head up and down and shit. It's pretty cool.
We scared the fuck out of some kids last year with it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of loud. Like it waits till it hears sound or motion. And once you get up on it, it's when it starts.
Yeah, like our cat was freaked the fuck out about it, like straight up hardcore freaked out. But those little kids were scared too, and it was hilarious because they were like, "Oh, a doggy," and like patting and like, "Oh, freak out."
And I think that came from
at home.
At home, yeah, for like $30, $40, something like that. But it's things like that we'll be doing reviews on, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they're really cool though. I mean, what is your take on Tommyknockers?
Well, I saw it on
Ghostfuckers.
Yeah, Ghost Adventures.
I call it Ghostfuckers, sorry.
It's a good show. We watch it all the time. But we saw it on, Ghost Adventures, and apparently they're in the mines, right?
Yeah.
And they're ghosts of miners,
who died,
assuming that... I don't know what they want or why they're so...
So basically they're pissed about dying in the mine because of like a crash or something, so they're trying to take out their... Yeah, they like are trying to take out their revenge because they died in the mine from a cave-in.
And they don't want people taking the gold.
Right. Yeah, they're trying to protect the gold. They don't want anybody else to get it, so they like eat away at the what are those things called?
Pillars?
Like the pillars and beams and shit, so that they will do a cave in. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's said to hear, like, if you hear knocking when you're in a cave, to get the fuck out because Tommyknockers. Yeah. So
that was a good episode, actually. You guys everybody ought to check that out. I got another pen right here. Everybody ought to check that episode out because it's pretty good on Ghost Adventures.
But I've actually heard about it from like different places all over. I mean, it's just kind of creepy, you know, because
it is.
It does make you wonder, you know.
You know, I would think it would be so awesome to go to a ghost town. Like an old Wild West ghost town.
Well, I did when I was little, but I didn't get to investigate or anything because I was little.
That would be so cool.
I didn't feel like I was alone in there, though. But but back then, I didn't realize that I could, like, you know, like things like that were legit. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Because when we're little, you know, you see a ghost, you're gonna tell your kid, "Oh, it's just your imagination. Go back to sleep." You know what I mean, or whatever. So we learned to second guess ourselves in life because of that, and then. You know, now as we're older and on my specific path, I've learned a lot of things that I've done have been not the right way. So it's just kind of interesting too.
But like ghost towns are really cool. It'd be neat. Every time we watch Ghost Adventures, they do a ghost town. It's so cool.
It really is.
You know, and I'm sure everybody that's watching this probably watches Ghost Adventures. You know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching us, I'm sure you watch that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're those type of people.
I really love it though. I mean, I think it's really cool because not only do like, you know, you learn about the ghost stuff, but like you learn about history of places too. I think it's really cool. And like they talk a lot about this kind of stuff, like the ghost.
Where this stuff comes from, where some of these myths come from.
And like there are a lot of things that we think are ghosts, or we think are like actual beings or whatever that are actually spirits or energies or whatever. And it's just kind of really interesting.
Now, I was researching this stuff, and obviously we talked about before, but aliens fell into the category of monsters and creatures.
Yeah,
and
the Greys.
But yeah, the Greys, which are aliens, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a specific type of alien, I guess, but some people believe it's a spirit type of alien.
Like a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
But I do believe in aliens. I mean, the universe is just way too big for just us.
Oh, absolutely. We're way too... I mean, no.
The Drake equation kind of shows
there has to be other life out there.
The odds of life being out there,
Like, I don't know if they're little green men or anything, but I mean, they might fucking be. I don't know, but and they could be tiny. They could be like microscopic and literally be in here watching us right now.
What else you got there?
The Mongolian Deathworms.
What the hell's that?
Well, it's a little weird. Apparently there's these creatures that live deep in the sand but look like the intestines of a cow. And they come out and they've got like...
What is it called?
A Mongolian deathworm.
It's like a trimmer.
Yeah.
Or something.
Well...
The movie Trimmer's awesome too. Kevin Bacon's in it.
Right, I love
It's really
Tremors.
good,
I don't
yeah.
like the other four. Ones of them I just like the original.
Yeah, I know. That seems to happen a lot on movies.
It's kind of like it literally went from being Tremors to like Sharknado type stuff.
Sharknado sucks.
Hey, when
It's
you talk
funny.
about Sharknado
It's funny,
too,
but
we're
it
talking about
kind of
this
sucks.
shit.
Yeah.
But no, like these little guys, or they're not little, they're ginormous, but they're supposed to have sharp teeth and like the claws and stuff, but some people have stated that they believe that they shoot lightning and acid out of their teeth, which is a little far-fetched, but I mean, I don't know. It's just really weird, you know.
It's weird.
But it is kind of like a tremor. I mean, it did look like a tremor, looked like the intestines, but I don't know. It's just kind of creepy, you know.
Earlier you mentioned something about Frankenstein.
So Frankenstein, you know what?
Now,
though?
did that really come from like a doctor working on some human trying to make him?
I don't know
something?
because I literally have read yes,
Yeah.
and I literally have read no. So I think it's a matter of it happening so far back, and then people want to be like, "Shut your mouth. We're not going to talk about that situation."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because supposedly a doctor had went mad after a bad something that he did, performed operation or whatever on someone, and things went bad. But you guys got to think, like back in the day, like way back when, these doctors had their practices in their homes, and like people would come to their homes and then operate on them and shit happen and die in their home.
Unsanitary and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like like when all that happens, and like with the Black Dahlia. Or Dahlia, however you pronounce it, the same concept. People die in the home from something that happened during surgery, and then that doctor kind of loses his shit because he's haunted from the spirits of stuff happening. So it's kind of like, putting all that together, and from what I've read, the doctor lost his shit after something like that happened with a patient and tried to fix it by putting shit together.
Interesting.
Like I said, I don't know how far fetch that is or how real it is.
Who knows? I mean, that's the thing, when you go to research stuff like this, it's a real hit and miss on where it actually originated from and where it came from. And
right, because there's so much shit.
Really is, yeah.
I mean, there really is a lot of stuff, and it's super interesting, though, really. I mean, because...
Now, if anyone's watching this, is a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch, a Yeti, and what's the other one? Are they all the same thing? Like, is a Yeti a Bigfoot? Is it just a Bigfoot that lives in the snow and the mountains?
I think Yetis are white, though.
Yeah, it's like a white Bigfoot. But I didn't know if they were all supposedly in the same category. I didn't know. Like a Sasquatch, I think, is a Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's the same thing. But the Yetis, I think, are different because it's like the abominable snowman or something.
Yeah, I don't... That's another one, abominable snowman.
That's a Yeti.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know. You guys let us know because I don't know.
Yeah, tell us your thoughts on that.
I think we actually,
the same.
I think we actually have some Bigfoot people in here.
Oh yeah, we do. Let us know what you think because
let us know what that is.
We're very conflicted on the whole Yeti Bigfoot.
We were talking about it earlier today, and we're not sure.
I mean, it is confusing though because there's just so many different versions, and then
we do have some good Bigfoot people on our Instagram though. I believe so.
But like we've had sightings here in Indiana. Like supposedly people seen them in Kingman and Petersburg or something. And my sister swore up and down for years that they're real, and I don't know what she believes now. But
well, Carl, my stepdad, knew this guy, supposedly. In fact, I think it was his old boss, Tom, that he's talked about before. I don't know if you remember that or not. But anyways, apparently they were out and about. I don't know if they were camping or what, but they got stuck. Or they were getting ready to get in the car. They thought they saw something. I don't know if it was a Bigfoot or whatever. I was young. It didn't happen to him. It happened to another guy. So this is another story in translation that could get mixed up. This is... good example. But anyways, supposedly they saw something when they were out in the woods. I don't know if they're hunting, camp, whatever. They hurried up, got in a vehicle. It was a four-wheel drive, like Jeep Cherokee or whatever. And they put it in gear, and they hit the gas and wasn't going anywhere, right? And they put it in reverse. It was not moving. The tires were moving, but it had no traction. And they said it felt like something dropped it and then finally it fell to the ground and got traction.
What the fuck?
Like they thought it might have been what they saw, the Bigfoot or whatever, lifting up the back end and holding it, and then just dropped it, I guess. I don't know. It didn't happen to me. It didn't happen to him. It happened to another guy.
That's
supposedly.
creepy. If it's the time I think it is, I know this man because he was a customer when I worked there, and he was very well respected.
Yeah.
So I kind of believe that.
I don't know. That's kind of weird.
Wow, that is definitely creepy.
Well, it happened after they saw it. Apparently, they were trying to scramble and grab the.
Now
I don't know.
my family owns, it's like literally dates way the hell back, but my family owns property out in the country that we camp at. Kraken.
Right down the road from the Malavia.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I used to freak myself out thinking that there was a Bigfoot over that. Like, there's, what would you call that? A ravine? Like a ravine over
A
the
big
side,
deep one,
like
yeah.
a back, and it's a pretty good drop off.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot of hills and cliffs around
when
there.
we were younger, there used to be like a little stream that went through, and there was like a tree that had fallen over, and we put cans on it, and we'd go back up the hill, and we'd shoot them with BB gun and all that shit. But I literally used to scare the shit out of myself thinking there were Bigfoots down there. Yeah, because
There's noises down there.
like, guys, we have an
noises.
outhouse. Like, that's how legit this camping thing is. Like,
It's
no,
old.
a porta potty, like a legit old ass outhouse. And
It's old.
I used to get scared because right on the edge of the ravine. and I
It
used to
is.
get
Right
scared.
behind that, you might have a path yay big behind that outhouse. After that, it's straight drop.
Like, it's
and people
gotten-
drink out there.
Oh yeah, well, like
At
before
night, man.
the storm knocked it over. Like, we had to have a truck when I was little. I told you about that before.
Yeah,
we
you
had to
told me
have
about
people
that.
like come and like pull it back up.
Yeah.
Just literally, just a cement toilet was left standing. But no, it's just scary. You hear those noises when you're asleep in your tent or the camper or whatever. But the shadows that you see out there, because everything's so dark and it's just freaky. So I've always, when I was little, thought there was a Bigfoot out there.
It's crazy.
Oh,
I mean,
there's
you
a
do
lot of
hear weird
crazy
noises.
shit.
There's weird noises around Indiana a lot, and a lot of people is definitely reported seeing Black Panthers and
Yeah.
cougars. And
Well, your dad saw that Black Panther.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they didn't see it.
Well, he heard it, but
The story is that my mom went with my dad hunting, and this is when I was like this big, and it was dark. Yeah, it was this tall, and it was dark, and they were heading out to the tree stand, but they heard like something walking behind them. Right, my dad had a shotgun. My mom was just going with him to hang out in the tree stand, and when they stopped, the walking behind them stopped, and they started walking again. Same thing. They started hearing the steps, but they also smelt what smelled like an animal close to them. That's when they started hearing like the type sound. So they knew it wasn't a person.
Right.
They knew it was of an animal of some sort, whether it's a coyote, whatever. So my dad told my mom, we're going to keep walking. Whenever I turn around and shoot, we're going to run. So apparently they kept walking, verified that they heard the sounds. He turned around, shot, and when he shot it said it sounded like what a woman screaming. Like the roaring of a cat of some sort.
Yeah.
And they took off running. They didn't go hunting. They came back to the house eventually and just called it.
your dad had told me that story.
Yeah.
A few
And my
times.
dad is a very safe gun person.
Right,
He really
and-
is. I know it sounds very irresponsible just to hurry up and shoot, but when you hear the sounds, you smell the smell, you hear the steps, and you kind of see a little bit of a shadow behind you of an animal size, it's something that's not a human.
This is a man who literally has fought in Vietnam for our country and was, a very stand-up man, very manly man. And you could tell when he told me that story, you could see like the fear in his
My mom
eyes
still
of
talks
telling
about
me that story.
Yeah. My mom still talks about that story.
So there had to be something pretty fucking intense to scare him that much.
Speaking of that, that's another. Speaking of that's creepy. Our show. Another creepy thing that involves my dad is, my dad was in Vietnam.
Right.
He just had a keen sense of things. But what was creepy is every time we went hunting, you can just see in his eyes and his face that he was just in a different zone. I don't know if it's because of Vietnam or what, but it was just
I'm sure.
kind of creeped me out a little bit. But again, he was always safe and everything else, But yeah, it's pretty wild.
I learned a lot. I learned all my gun safety and actually everything I know about guns
Shooting.
from Travis and his dad, and I can tell you one thing, that's the first thing you learn before you ever touch a gun. You get like 6 weeks of gun safety training before you're even allowed to touch
Most
the gun.
important. Yeah.
Which is good, and for anyone out there, just so you know, we are very safe with guns, because we did mention that we have guns and everything, but our kids learned at a very early age about gun safety and to respect a gun, what it can do, and that you do not disrespect it. So, just if you do have guns, just
Be safe.
be safe. Teach your children. Don't hide the gun from your child. Teach your
Teach
child
them about it. That's the most
to
important
respect it.
thing.
Because if you don't tell them about it and you just say, "Do not touch this,"
When they
they're-
come across it, that's when accidents happen.
Right,
Because
so-
they have no idea what they're looking at or doing.
Exactly. Be honest with them and show them how to respect it. So, I think that's all the
Yep.
monster stuff for today.
We can cover more next week, unless somebody's wanting to hear something different.
Yeah,
we can cover more on
so-
the monster creatures or
Tell us
more
what
urban
you think.
legends.
Tell us about
Anything.
your what monsters you guys think are really cool, and also
Please let us know on the Bigfoot Sasquatch thing,
yes,
because I
please
want to know.
someone
And the Yeti
comment.
thing.
Tell us below, like, what the hell that,
Drive me
that
nuts, man. I
situation
don't know if
is.
they're all the same.
Like when we look it up, it's all very confusing anyway. So drop us a
Yeah.
comment. Let us know what you think about what's what on the situation there.
Because these guys are professional Bigfoot.
Right. And if you guys have any
pages
requests
that.
or anything you guys want to hear us talk about, let us know. You can comment. You can email us at wellthat'screepy@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Instagram at wellthat's_creepy.
Please like and subscribe.
As always, check out the Basic Witch podcast.
Yes, very good show.
You can find me on Instagram at the_basic_witch_. I just said that all weird, yeah. There's also a Facebook group if you're interested. And we have a podcast version of this too, so if you're listening to the podcast version, it's available all over too, on all podcast platforms. And
If you guys see lights going off, it's just part of it.
yeah, our house is just so creepy. There's weird shit happening all the time. We don't know what it is. So
Yeah, definitely like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next week.
bye.
Enjoy your Sunday.